Hi students, today we're going to discuss lesson 4 in Word-Wise book 9, okay? My book is the second edition. I know there's a third edition out there and stuff like that, but the words are the same, so we can still discuss this, okay? These words are getting hard, okay? As far as I can see, these words are very similar to kind of pre-SAT level words, okay? So they're getting pretty tough. Book 9 and 10 especially have a lot of words that I see on the same SAT list and stuff like that. So do your best, keep working hard. There's a lot of words that need to be known for that test, so do your best, okay? It also apply to other tests, TOEFL and TOEIC and stuff like that. But wait, if you need help, down in the description box, I will include my sentences, my example sentences with some good pictures. And you can also ask for help in the comment box, okay? So if you don't understand something or if you think I made a mistake, which is very possible, you can tell me in the comment box, okay? And when I can help you, I will. Okay, so open your books. Let's look at lesson 4, okay? So the first word is adage. Oh, I always forget this too. I almost forgot it. I want to do pronunciation first, okay? So here is adage. Adage. Camaraderie. Now, this one is camaraderie. If you look at the spelling is a little bit hard, but most people say it really fast. It's more like camaraderie, okay? Camaraderie. Contend. Contend. Extraneous. Extraneous. Hubbub. I love this word. Hubbub. Meander. Meander. Odoriferous, okay? Odoriferous, odoriferous. Paraphernalia, okay? This is another one where the R in there is kind of makes for kind of hard pronunciation, stuff like that, especially hard spelling as well. Paraphernalia. Now, a lot of people say paraphernalia. Correct pronunciation, paraphernalia. But a lot of times when I've heard this word, the R is kind of missing, okay? I don't know if it's from people who don't know how to pronounce it properly or they don't know how to spell it or something like that. But yeah, so you'll hear paraphernalia and paraphernalia, okay? I suggest the second one, paraphernalia. Punctilious, punctilious. Recuperate, recuperate. Regale, regale. Sedentary, sedentary. Spartan, Spartan. Temporal, temporal, and rye, okay? So make sure you know all those, and let's talk about them, okay? So adage. Adage is usually a word like a saying, a collection of words that we usually give to people, usually for advice or that kind of stuff. It's similar to words like proverb or maxim, or sometimes we even just use the word saying. Oh, that's an old saying and stuff like that, okay? So, you know, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. It's a very popular saying, okay, or an adage. Now, the adage I have here is also another popular one. Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise, okay? Similar to another adage about the early bird getting the worm and that kind of stuff. So these are just adages, words that are little phrases or sentences that are usually given for advice, okay? Camaraderie, camaraderie. It kind of means working together as a team. Sometimes in basketball, like a whole bunch of stars will go together, maybe 3 or 4 stars, and sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they have really great stars all together, and they lose to another team that doesn't have any stars. And that's because the team with all the all-stars, maybe they'll have bad camaraderie. It just means that they don't work well together and all this kind of stuff. They don't work like a team. So that's a team with bad camaraderie, okay? So that's why I have this picture of a tug of war. This game is called a tug of war, and there's another team. This team here will fight another team way over here. And, you know, if this team works well as a team, they will win. So they have a good sense of camaraderie. It's often you'll see that, a sense of camaraderie. Maybe a boss will, you know, have a night out in a restaurant or something like that. They don't make money from that, but they want like the office to work well together. So they'll build a sense of camaraderie. Contend. Contend has a couple meanings. Sometimes it means you have to do something bad, okay? Teachers like me, I have to contend with cheaters. It's something that I have to monitor and fight with and stuff like that. Not this kind of fight, but like argue, right? I have to contend with that. If you have a learning disability, then you have to contend with that. You have to work with it, even though it's hard, right? So sometimes the contend has this word of struggling. Sometimes the word contend means more like in a sentence. Sorry, I struggle to explain this. If you're reading a book, it says blah 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 blah. Errol said, blah 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 blah. Errol argued or whatever. Blah blah. Errol asked. So there's usually these things sometimes at the end after the quotation marks, to indicate this. Errol whispered. Often there'll be contend. Daryl contended. So it's usually for something that's like, I'll put my opinion into something. I think we should go to Hawaii for Christmas. Daryl contended. Okay. So if the story is going to talk about some argument in my family all wants to go skiing for Christmas, and then in the book they'll be like, we should go to Christmas. Daryl contended. Contended Daryl is also fine. Okay. So in this case here, it just means that like I'm putting my opinion out there. I'm asserting my opinion into the conversation. Okay. And then contention is a noun, and it has both of those meanings, both of the verbs that I already discussed. Okay. His contention is we should go to Hawaii for Christmas, like that. Okay. Their contention is that we should go skiing for Christmas. Both are great, actually. So, extraneous. Extraneous typically means extra. Okay. Extraneous. Not only just extra, but like unneeded. Okay. So extraneous details. That's a collocation. You'll often see it together. In your writing, don't include extraneous details. Okay. So if you have a paragraph that starts like, when I was 18, my friends and I went camping, and Mike was 17, and Darla was 16, and Mike, whatever, Matthew was 19. You don't need to give those details. Okay, the narrator is 18. That's enough. You don't need to go through all these things, right? Just get on to the camping story. So those are called extraneous details that are not necessarily needed. Hubbub. Hubbub. What's the hubbub? Okay. It just means the loud noise. Uproar. Uproar is another similar kind of word. Din, D-I-N, is another similar word. Okay, so I often ask this. If I'm in one room and my kids are like arguing in another room, I'll go into the room and I'll be, hey, what's the hubbub? It means like, what's the loud noise? What's happening here and all that kind of stuff, okay? So that's hubbub. Meander. Meander. Some of my examples are meandering. Meander, it's the way I first learned this word is the river was meandering. It just means that the river's not going straight down the map, okay? It'll be up this way and bend and stuff like that. Rivers will do that, especially on flat land. They don't go straight into the ocean. They might kind of go this way a little bit and that way, almost like a snake. So say meanders. If you say that someone was meandering around the shopping mall, it just means that they're not shopping like as quickly as possible, like just go there, buy it, and leave. If they're meandering around the shopping mall, here a little bit, there a little bit, there a little bit, like this, okay? Like a butterfly fluttering from bush to bush and stuff like that. That's also meandering. The way I first used it with you guys, I say our conversation meandered. It just means goes off course. We started talking about Worldly Wise, Book 9, Lesson 4, and then I'm talking about camping and all this kind of stuff. So sometimes our conversation is meandering, off topic and stuff like that, okay? Good. My next one. Oh, I said War and Peace. The book War and Peace has extraneous details, okay? Good. Here's meander. You can find out why BTS is in there. Odoriferous. Odoriferous, okay? Odoriferous just means having a smell. Now, when you say something stinks, that food stinks, it really means that it smells bad. Odoriferous is more of a neutral word. It might be bad, might be okay. Odoriferous will mean that usually it means a strong smell, not a weak smell, okay, when we use it. But it might be a strong good smell or a strong bad smell, okay? So odoriferous. There's some stores at the shopping mall, like a soap store, that kind of stuff, body shop, will be very odoriferous, okay? It has a strong smell. The word odor, if you know it, O-D-O-R, is a noun. It just means a smell, okay? So odoriferous is the adjective. It means it has a smell, which is maybe good, maybe bad. Who knows, right? Okay, paraphernalia. In some cases, it just means like your stuff, okay? I have a lot of paraphernalia on the desk, okay? But sometimes it means the word equipment, okay? So, the football team needs a lot of paraphernalia, whereas a soccer team needs a lot less paraphernalia. So it can use equipment for sports, but you can also use it for, like, in a laboratory setting as well. So the laboratory had a lot of chemistry, paraphernalia, that kind of stuff. Punctilious is someone who is very concerned with little tiny details, okay? If someone's punctilious, they don't just dismiss like small things and stuff like that. A good investigator is very punctilious. Sherlock Holmes was extremely punctilious, okay? If someone had a little tiny spot of ketchup on their shirt, Sherlock Holmes would see it and eventually get that person into jail. That's proof somehow of the person's guilt, okay? So, but punctilious is not this meaning. Like, this Sherlock Holmes is very punctilious. If we are counting something and it's big numbers, if you want to count the jelly beans in a big jar like this, right? As soon as I get to like maybe 600, I'll be like, okay, let's half. Okay, there's 1,200 jelly beans in here. But a punctilious person would never accept that, okay? A punctilious person is like, no, I'm counting all of these jelly beans, because they want to know the exact number. They're not happy with 1,200. They want to know there's 1,184. Okay? A punctilious person is really concerned like that. We also use punctilious a lot with time. If someone's always on time, never too early, never too late, but like arrive exactly on time, we'll say that person's very punctilious. Recuperate. Something happening with my sweater here. Recuperate. Dun, da, da, da. Recuperate. It usually means heal. Okay? If you have an operation in the hospital, then the doctor will say, oh, you need 2 weeks to recuperate. I mean, like, no school, no sports, all that kind of stuff, okay? Just home, relaxing, making sure your body recovers, okay? So recuperate, recover, and heal are all very similar words, okay? The book doesn't have it, but there's also recuperation is the noun, okay? Regale. Regale usually means you tell someone stories, okay? And it's not usually made up stories. So we don't use it like for Harry Potter or something like that. Regale is usually like if someone has an adventure and then they come home and they're like, hey, what happened with you in Australia? And then you regale them with stories. It just means like you're entertaining your friends with these stories of what happened in your life, okay? Regale. Good. Sedentary. This whole video, I have been sedentary, okay? The definition here says doing or requiring a lot of sitting, okay? So my job has a fair bit of sedentary time. When I go back there to the whiteboard, my job is less sedentary, but by and large, my job is pretty sedentary, okay? A lot of marking in my chair and all that kind of stuff. So you'll often, if you're looking for the collocation, you'll often see in a book, sedentary lifestyle. Modern people have a sedentary lifestyle, and they usually go on to discuss that's what's making us all fat and stuff like that, okay? Because we're not getting as much exercise as people used to get, okay? So that's a sedentary lifestyle. Good. Spartan, okay? Now, for those of you speaking Asian languages, Sparta has the same root. It comes from people 2,500, 2,600 years ago in Greece, okay? But I know some Asian languages will use the word Spartan in a different way. They just mean like to study really hard. Like, I'm going to Sparta study. But in English, it doesn't have that meaning, okay? So just be careful. Now, in English, Spartan will mean someone who really has a basic lifestyle, usually out of choice, okay? Not because they can't afford it, but they want a Spartan lifestyle. If someone's writing a book, maybe they'll go to a cabin up on the mountain, and there's no TV, there's no phones, maybe there's just a bed and a desk, basic cooking stuff, and they say, oh, he had a very Spartan lifestyle, okay, when he wrote that book. So a Spartan is really not much stuff. Not your life is not crowded with a whole bunch of stuff. Temporal means just something to do with time. It's got the same root as temporary and stuff like that. Okay, so temporal has to do with time, and it has to do with usually there's usually a contrast, not only with time but with heaven. I guess that would be the best way to say it. So this life is temporal, but when I get to heaven, I'll have everlasting life, everlasting forever life. It's often used in that way as well. Okay, when they talk about a king having temporal power, it just means power that's how to explain? Power that's fleeting. They might be the king for a long time, but they're going to die, right? So they'll say the king has temporal power only. They can't rule forever. And the last one is wry. Okay, wry is usually used to describe a sense of humor. Often sarcastic humor is described as wry. That teacher has a wry sense of humor. You'll find those words together a lot. A wry sense of humor. You'll see the word wry smile, which is why I have Hermione here. I know her real name's not Hermione. Emma here. You can see her smile. It's kind of like a really kind of like, I'm not good at it, but there's a wry smile, okay? Where you're kind of like, you're smiling, but you're kind of like smiling as if you know something. Oh yeah, you worked really hard, huh? I'm the worst actor in the world, okay? This is what we say is a wry smile, okay? Okay, let's review for just 1 second. This picture shows camaraderie. This picture here, we'll say contend. Coca-Cola and Pepsi are contending. This picture with the book War and Peace is got a lot of extraneous details, okay? BTS, I'm not going to tell you. You have to download get the file. These sneakers or runners are odoriferous. This guy, I don't know what happened there, but this person definitely needs to recuperate for a long time. Okay, that person's got big problems. This fisherman, this fisher guy, he is going to regale his friends with a fish he almost caught. This dude is sedentary. This one, I tried to show you. It's a little bit hard to see, but this is a very Spartan room, okay? Monks, religious monks and nuns will also live a very Spartan lifestyle, okay? And the last picture is the wry smile, okay? Okay, if I can help you, let me know. My students, you got to prepare for a test, okay? Do your best, and if you are not my students and you're just learning this by yourself, good for you. If you need help, let me know. Take care. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.